Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everybody, to this particular collective, very special Mercury retrograde ending live stream. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's so great to have you all here today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys are new here, this is pretty much a spiritual news network, meaning we get the downloads from the guides and the angels for all of our highest good, and we just transmit them. And hopefully, right, the goal of today is you get something that works for you, get something that resonates with you and helps you on your journey and your path, and helps you to move forward in a more educated and a more confident and a more pristine way. Sometimes we do some meditational healing exercises. Other times we just stick with the channel messages. And other times we do astrology and tarot. It's a mixture of all these things. But again, the goal is, can you leave this live stream today, however much or however long you choose to watch it, a better individual? Not from my specific individual advice, although I admit sometimes that can be helpful, but from the channel advice from the guides and angels above. And let me just start off and say, okay, and get into, after, of course, saying hello to everyone here in the live stream, let me just take a quick look at the chat here. Cindy's here. We got a $1,000 bill. Hi from New York. So excited. Jane Meehan says, hi, Brandon. Capricorn living in Florida. Thanks for the hug. Stephanie's here. Hi, Brandon. Happy Sunday. So glad the Mercury retrograde is over. I couldn't agree more, Stephanie. It is so good that it's finally passed us by. Oh, my goodness. That was an intense one. Okay, Mike's awakens. It doesn't get better than what I already am, so that's awesome. Hey, good, more power to you. I want to join your live, sir. I want to join your live, sir, because, man, you must have some good stuff to share. Birthday's next Sunday. Kat says hello from Colorado. What's going on? Welcome, 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 guys. All right. So go ahead and say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're from, what your astrology sign is. Okay, and the point of this live stream, again, is just to give literally, again, the collective advice and get into the messages. So if you guys are new to me, let me introduce myself. My name is Brandon Tobias. I'm an intuitive guide, an astrologer, and a psychic medium. And my goal is to use my gifts and abilities to just help each of us live a better life, to find our empowerment, and to find our true soul purpose here on earth. You know, I don't know if I'm like the rest of you guys. I believe in that. You know, it took me a long time, and I'm still looking every single day. Ask Paola, my girlfriend, for my soul purpose. Okay? There's this thought inside of us, I believe, that's maybe instilled from a young age, or maybe it's just inside a bunch of us watching, that we have to find our soul purpose right off the bat, that we have to know exactly what that is, and that there's something wrong with us if we don't exactly know what that soul purpose is immediately right out the gates. And so we're searching and searching and searching, and we're finding, and nothing really quite feels right, and nothing really quite fully fulfills us, and maybe something seems like it fulfills us, and then it ends maybe a year or two later. And we're left in these kind of transient dips of life where we have to go into the depths of ourselves and go into the deep inner truths about ourselves and find out and figure out who we really are, what we're really made of, and where we're really meant to go. And I would say, without a doubt, that for me, at least, and maybe for many of you, that this Mercury retrograde represented one of those moments where we had an opportunity to go into the depths of who we really are and really figure out what we are made of, really figure out if what we're doing right now in life is what we're meant to be doing, or if it's fulfilling, and or if there's any changes that need to be made in our life moving forward. And so for many of us, myself included, it was one of the most difficult Mercury retrograde experiences that I've been through, because it forced you to look at parts of you that you've been keeping away or keeping hidden for a long time, right? How many guys maybe had an experience this Mercury retrograde where you were forced to confront aspects of yourself that need a little bit of improvement? Okay, just look at this belly to know that I figured out one area where I could use improvement. Maybe it's, again, in past relationships that you've had where you've realized, well, maybe I could have done that better, and I could have been a better human being in that way, and maybe I could take responsibility for some of those things. Or maybe around your career or your purpose, you've just realized, hey, what I'm doing isn't really gonna be the way forward anymore for me. It's not really providing in the way I need it to, either financially or emotionally or both. And I need to make a big pivot in what I'm doing and how I'm earning money. And I think for many of us as well, and again, depending on what sign you are and what journey you've been on, it's been a very humanizing. Okay, it's been a very humanizing Mercury retrograde, meaning there's been a lot of practical things, right, that we've had to look at and understand about this human reality, about your human reality, right, in a less than spiritual way, and go, man, I got to really figure that out. I really got to figure out this life situation, and it's not all la-di-da, everything's perfect and fine and love and grace and the 5D, although it is. But really looking at those situations in our human experiences and trying to go, man, how the heck do I navigate this human life, right, in conjunction with my spirituality, in conjunction with my spiritual identity, which are really, in essence, they're really two different things. They're really two different things. We have a higher self and we have a soul, of course, and that soul is timeless. That soul is, thousands and thousands. It's infinite, right? It's been around for an infinite amount of time since the creation of everything. And then we have this human body, right? We have this human self that we're living here. And that's a very different thing, right? It has a piece of that higher self. It has a piece of that timeless soul inside of you. But your human body, your human characteristics, and not only that, but the human experiences you're meant to go through in this lifetime are very different from any other lifetime you've been through, and also your higher self or your soul, right? And so for many of us, it's how the heck do we learn? This is a journey of learning who this human self is, and also at the same time, right, in this lifetime, learning who this human self is, but also at the same time learning and remembering who we really are. Who we really are, right? What energy emanates inside of this human body that drives this deeper knowledge of who we really are, right? And our connection to God and to Source, right? So two different aspects to life here. Some of us are on that just discovering, our higher self and or God and or the divine for the first time, right? Some of us are kind of new to that, and maybe they've had a lot of lifetimes where they were just human, okay? And now they're kind of ascending and they're going, oh, now I get to kind of learn that there's more to this human reality, right? I'm actually a timeless soul, and there's actually the universe, and there's actually, the divine and God and all these things. And some of us are coming down, okay? Coming back down from this other way of being into human life and really learning the lesson of what it means to be a human. And you might find yourself in either one of these camps, okay? But that's what I found, the dichotomy that's going on in the collective right now is happening. One is more masculine, the other one's more feminine, okay? So let us know, right, if how you feel about either one of those camps. But they're both difficult and they're both challenging in their own way. I would say I've identified my path is definitely coming down, okay, into human reality and dealing with practical stuff. I've had enough lifetimes maybe where I've been up here, and now I need to come figure out how to pay bills. Okay. Oh boy. Learning that, money is it's great to manifest money, but sometimes you just have to get the work done, right? Sometimes you just have to be here in this human experience and take it from one spiritual guy to another, or spiritual person to another. Even we have to live in the weeds sometimes, right? So even we have to get dirty a lot sometimes and really dig in deep, okay, to this human body, this human experience. And I'll, one thing I'll say about that is that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? Many of us may not think so, and I, sometimes myself included, but it's in essence a very beautiful, beautiful opportunity and thing to be able to even do that, to be able to even dig in deep and experience some hardship, experience some stress, experience some pain, physical pain and emotional pain while in this human experience. And many of us don't realize, right, but this is a transient experience. This is just a small blip on a huge map overall of many, 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 many lifetimes of experiences, right? Where we'd come back down and then we'd go back up and we'd reflect on the lessons we've learned. And then we'd come back down and we'd go back up and we'd reflect again on the lessons we learned. And then the guides would say, and the angels would say, well, you kind of messed up there, Brandon, but you did really good in that area of life, but you kind of still didn't learn your lesson around relationships, or you still didn't really learn your lesson around money. You kind of need to go back and master that experience if you're going to be a complete soul, right? If you're going to be an ascended master, if you're going to be among the ranks of the angels and the guides that are here to, help grow and expand the universe and be closer with God, you have to master this human lesson, right? You have to master this human experience. And there's no cheating, right? You mess up or you cheat, you come back down, you do it again. So, you might as well get the lesson the first time. That's just the way it works. I don't know what else to say, right? But I guess point being, if you find yourself in somewhat of a painful, existential, repetitive cycle, right? And you can't really figure out what it is, well, just know this, right? That is absolutely to a T something that you likely came down here to experience, and or a specific lesson, that you came here to learn so that you could evolve and so that you could reach the next level of humanity. Now, the reason I say all this is because I know that everyone watching this right now, in some way, shape, or form, is on that journey, right? Every single one of you guys watching this is on that journey of learning, growing, evolving, healing, and learning lessons so that you could get to the next level. And I want to take a moment to talk about what that next level is, and maybe just see, if you guys would be interested in going to that next level. Okay. I suppose on a human level, we think of the next level as personal development, right? When you think about getting better generally as a person, you think about reading books, you think about learning to work harder or developing good habits. You think about different ways in which you can personally develop yourself, which have a very specific utilization. And that utilization is to become a better human being, right, here on earth. But there's also a spiritual growth, a spiritual development that we're going through at the same time, which is a longer overall journey versus the human experience, right? Human experience, we're learning these personal development lessons to become a better leader, maybe make more money, develop more freedom, and just have a better life, right? It's the principles on how to live the best life possible, right? It's a science of living the best life possible. Well, there's also a science of how do you become the most evolved, positive, light-oriented, powerful soul possible, so that you can rise amongst the ranks of souls to be able to be of greater service, to be able to have access to greater abilities and greater powers, right? That's all angels are. In essence, angels are a higher version of human beings that have shown by mastering many, many lessons to God, to the divine, that they can be a positive impact, that they are here to serve people and to help expand the awareness of life here in the universe. Okay? So looking back all the way down, microscopically back down to Earth, that's where we're at. We're at this little part of the journey overall within the universe and within God that is an opportunity to increase, right, our abilities and our knowledge and our experience as a soul through this human experience, okay, so that we can continue on and learn and grow and become more powerful, more helpful, and more service-oriented in the universe overall. Okay? And I explain all this, right, because I do believe it's helpful to know why we're here, generally speaking, right? There's a difference between why we are all here, generally speaking, on the earth at this time, and knowing exactly why you are here, your individual purpose. But I think generally it's helpful to know why the heck human beings are even here on earth in the first place, right? What it is we're here to do and to be. And again, that answer is, well, one, we're here to choose our path, so we don't have to just go on the light path. We could choose the dark path, okay? We can go the demon path, yeah? Or we can choose the light path and we can continue to grow and expand and then be the ones helping and guiding humans on earth later on, okay? So the whole point is, and the essence of what I'm just saying, so you guys can kind of see what the reason I'm saying this is, the whole point of everything here on earth, the whole purpose of why we're all here, why we're here at the same time, learning with this free will, is to learn if we want to, and if so, how to be of better service to as many individuals as humanly possible. That's the whole point, right? You always say, someone in the chat, I'm here for my money, says Mike Goodman. That's your lesson. That's your lesson, Mike Goodman. I love it. By the way, I'm not immune to that lesson. I'm learning that lesson too. So amen to you. But that's the whole point. Okay. That is literally the whole, I know you hear people say that, we're here to be of service, blah, blah, blah. But spiritually, evolutionary speaking, right, on an evolutionary level, that is what we're learning. We're learning these skills and experiences so we can be a better service. So here's the practical part of this channeling, of this video here for us humans here in the room. I know maybe we're not all human here. I don't know. The human part is, what area of your life, okay, what area of each of your lives in this chat, as you're watching, okay, and I had to take a hard look at my life just before going live, by the way. What area of your life can be shifted to be more in alignment with that principle? Okay. What area, I'm going to repeat that. What area of your life, whether it be your job, okay, your business, your relationship, your family, okay, your home or your direction in life generally, okay, I want you to take a second, just think about what area can we shift so that it becomes more in alignment with the principle of being able to serve and impact more people? Okay? That's a question. Now, that's a very complex and deep, complicated question for a number of reasons. One of them being, well, if we just shift some part of our life so we're just serving as many people as possible, well, what happens to us, Brandon? Like, don't we got to think about us? You know, Mike Goodman says, what about my money? Where's my money? I'm here for my money, right? I'm with you. Okay? But the money will always come in response to serving more souls, in response to serving as many people as possible, in response to filling a need and a void and a pain spot in as many people as possible. Whether that's in your job or whether that's in a business that you create, the money will come energetically, naturally through that. Yeah. So I had to take a long, hard look in the mirror, right? I had to take a long, hard look in the mirror because, I mean, my prices were incredibly high. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, and you guys feel free to agree. This is your opportunity. But my prices were still like 2020 prices where everyone had like an extra stimulus money and no one was really spending anything because we're all locked up at home and everyone was just sitting on their computers watching tarot. And so we all had the extra money. And so my service prices went so inflated. They went up. My one-on-one got up to $400 an hour. My channel tarot reading was up to like $250. My astrology reading was $275 and all these things. And, I just had to take a look at that, and something hit me. It was like, are you really, what is that for, right? Is that because of your pride, because that's where you were and you were doing well before, or what's that for? Is that really serving people? Or is that because you think it needs to be that much so you can pay your bills, or because you think that you're you're that valuable? And fair enough. But what I realized is if I lowered those prices and I allowed a balance of my worth with meeting people perhaps where they're at now in the reality of 2022, when money is not as plentiful for a lot of people, when the inflation is sky high, when the cost of goods and groceries are at their highest point in many years, I had to realize, look, it's time. It's time to come and adjust that thing to meet as many people as possible. And that was, again, very hard for me to look at and very, very humbling, because one thing I told myself is you can never go down in value. You should never downgrade your prices. But at the same time, I realized if you're in the energy of being up, maybe the higher prices were in that energy before. Maybe that's what people, right, what was in the alignment of being able to serve as many people were the right types of people at that time. But since that time, is that still the case? And so we'll see. But I believe that that's one way in which, an example of which we can shift our life and say, well, let's lower these significantly. And now, I mean, they're you guys can go check my website. It's literally, and that's not a promotion, right? A lot of you guys are, you got your soul reading, but I mean, I lowered them a lot. Like we're back down to human levels. Okay, so if you guys want live sessions and recorded readings, now's the time. You're never gonna find a lower price ever. And that's just purely because I'm like, this I know will be a balance between knowing my worth and serving as many people as possible. And so I say all that to say, if you pose that question back to you, what area would that be for you? Is there an area where you can kind of slim down or help to shift that so that it's more directly in alignment with serving more people? And that might be in a different area of life, but is there something, right? Is there something that was kept a certain way because of greed or because of pride or because of a lack of understanding, right? And one thing I feel very strongly is if we can shift that area of our life into as slim a place as possible where it can provide the most amount of impact to as many people as possible, but also give us enough energy and well-being back so that we can obviously survive and thrive and be well, that is true abundance. That is the real true abundance, that perfect fine line and point where you're providing impact as much as you are allowing yourself to receive as much back as you need in order to provide that impact. Okay, it's like it's an equal give and take. Not taking more and giving less, okay, but equal give and take. And I give a lot, right? Obviously, you guys know, but I think in terms of prices, right, those particular services need to be balanced. Okay. All right, so those are the opening messages. Now, here's the schedule for today. It's not going to be as long of a live stream as it normally is, hopefully, right? We're looking at quality, not so much quantity. I do have our first group coaching meeting tonight at 5 p.m. PST. So if anyone wants to join that last minute, link is in the bio for that. $33 a month gets you some coaching. But we're going to be going through some channeled tarot. Okay, I'm going to bring back tarot for a little bit of time. We're going to be going through some astrology. And really I want to talk about this huge cycle that's ending, right? As a result of today, which is the second, which is the last day of Mercury retrograde. It might already be over. And I want to talk about a little bit, of course, like what we can expect moving forward and anything else we need to know for our highest and greatest good. Okay? All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let me read some comments here as well. Is there another way to log into that? I joined but can't download the app. Are you talking about the group leadership? Yes, absolutely. If you go to band.com on a computer or any other device you have, you can log in through that. Okay. But if you can't get access still and you want to join the meeting, then definitely shoot me an email. Okay, brandon.tobias888@gmail.com, and I'll get you the link personally. But excited to have you here. Thanks for joining. Okay. Guides and angels, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels, through the power of unconditional love. What is it we need to know right now in this moment for our highest and greatest good? These are collective messages for all of our highest and greatest good. There will be channeled pieces of direct advice and information. Think of this like a personal reading, but for the collective. And of course, I'll only take the messages if you resonate, but these should be in alignment, combined with everyone here. Okay? So here we go. Guides and angels, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels, through the power of unconditional love. What is it we need to know for our greatest and highest good in this particular moment? That will change your lives. Someone says, will there be changes from now to December? 100%. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. A lot of changes. Okay, and we're going to talk about some of those as well in this live stream. At least that's my goal. All right, guides and angels, loved ones, masters, and wise ones. Justice is the first card out. Justice is the first card out, okay? So things are needing to come back to balance, right? Kind of like the example I gave with my services. If there's anything out there that is just not really in alignment or balanced in terms of what it gives and what it receives, or there's undue karma that's been waiting for people, institutions, entities, whatever it is, right? Like business entities out there, those things are going to come back into balance, or there's going to be a big reset of sort, not the great reset, but there's going to be a big reset in terms of things being evened back out again, okay, from where they once were, right? So think of the economy. This is not a political channel, but just one example, the economy, right? Many people think that we're in this gigantic bubble and that because of the way we're handling money in the Federal Reserve, things are going to crash. Well, that's what I mean. A lot of people believe there's going to be a correction in the market, or a correction in the housing market, for instance, because they were way overly inflated before, and the market needs to return back to balance and back to normal. Okay? So it's the same thing in all of our lives. If there were things that were overinflated, or people or things or institutions getting away with things that was not just or fair, those things are going to start to come back into balance. Okay? And the scales are tipping back into our favor right now. The scales are tipping back into our favor. So if there are things or people where there's karma there and you feel you've been wronged by them, or they've done something to hurt you or to harm you and they haven't received justice yet, better believe that justice is coming, okay, very soon. And it's nothing that is like, okay, I wish people harm, but it's more so they will always get what's coming to them, okay? They will always get what's coming to them. And now is the time where you will start to see those people reap what they've sowed. Okay? Justice card, Knight of Cups. The Tower card. Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. And the Ten of Cups. You know, the first thing I'm getting is many of us, if we aren't making the necessary changes, if we aren't finding those places, okay, in our life specifically where there's an overbalance of something, okay, or an imbalance of something, we might be in for a bit of a rude awakening. Okay, Tower card and the Knight of Cups means, yeah, we're just strolling along and we're just doing our thing, and then boom, out of nowhere, right, we hit the floor running. It's almost like an energy of those people who got a little cocky, okay? Those people who got a little cocky and kind of were too big for their britches are going to experience a drastic moment in their life that will humble them, okay? And this can be anything regarding jobs, institutions, family members, relationships, things like that. They're going to, boom, hit that moment where they have to be humbled, right? And come back into themselves again. Come back into a time where they say, look, I am really sorry for what happened and what I did. That was truly not okay, and I've learned my lesson. Okay, how many of you guys have been waiting for a moment like that? Right? I know there's several areas in my life where there's still things that are like, wow, that was not cool, but you know, gotta count on karma there. Seven of Wands here with the Ten of Cups as well. So the message here is, you don't have to fight anymore. Okay, if you're here and you're like fighting or struggling to kind of like get back at something, or like, you know, prove to someone else, or like make something of yourself other than what you are, you know, the energy's moving now. Okay, with or without you doing anything, or with or without you changing necessarily, the energy is going to reflect directly what someone's karma is, right? So if you believe that you've done a lot of really good things, you've served a lot of people, you're going to now feel and receive that karma coming back into you. And if you believe, right, if someone else is like not in a good place and they've kind of gotten away with things, they're also going to, like, that's going to be reflected directly, okay? But the happily ever after here, okay, that you've really been kind of fighting for, or fighting to obtain, or kind of move toward, okay, that's already here. That's already here. It's already here in your heart. You don't have to fight for that anymore. You don't have to reach for it. You don't have to struggle anymore, right? All you have to do is be willing to know that as time moves forward, things will reflect the reality of them, right? Things, the reality of what is really real and what is really for you and what is really not for you will reflect in earnest, okay? Now, especially, and moving forward, and that karma, again, and that energy will be returned very strongly. Okay, it's almost like what the guys are showing me is like a slingshot mechanism, right? Where you pull back, and then all of a sudden it gets so tight that it can't go back anymore, and then boom, it releases, and the energy goes back. It snaps back into place, right? That's what the guys are showing me is about to happen right now, okay? So that bad energy goes back where it goes, and good energy goes back where it goes, right? And everything comes back into balance. Okay. So, and it's been a while. That's why I say, right, that the title of this video on YouTube is End of Mercury Retrograde, Huge Cycle Ending. Yeah, it's the end of a waiting period of the catch-up of a cumulative karma that we've all been gaining as we move forward. Okay. So what you can expect is, boom, drastic changes being made in places in your life where there has not been that balance, and also the return of good karma for things that you've done that you deserve that energy back, okay? Yeah. Good times ahead. And this is, I mean, it's been a while since we could, you know, have read the tarot, but Sun card here, 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Swords, okay? So, and the emphasis here is really, it's like, if you're watching this, it's like you really don't have to worry about this anymore. You really don't have to worry, okay, about the karma or the truth being revealed, okay, about someone in your life, all right, about people in your life, about people coming back and forth, or people playing games or manipulating. You really don't have to worry about that anymore, okay? You've surpassed, you've outgrown this moment in your life. You're no longer really in that stage of your life where you have to wait, or you have to depend on someone else coming back in, okay, or being a part of your life generally, or changing, right? You've outgrown that moment where you're waiting on someone else to change. You are the change. You are the change. You are embodying the change now. And as you embody more of that change, your impact and your happiness and your karma, good karma, grows. Okay. All right. And as that good karma grows, as we know in this channel, your money grows as well. So my gentleman who was speaking about money, this message is for you. I'm not sure if you stuck around here, but as your good karma grows, right? As you become the change that you wish for others to make, or that you wish that they would embody, as you create that change in your own self and in your own life, and you become a brighter light and impact more souls, as your karma, good karma, grows, so too does your financial state, so too does your determination as well, so too does your strength, okay, spiritually and physically, grow as a result of this patience and this faith and this knowingness of the return, naturally, of karma, that we don't have to do anything. And this is specifically for those of you guys that may be wondering, like, do I need to interfere, or do I need to do something in order to receive my good karma, or for someone else to receive their bad karma, right? We don't have nothing to do with that. Let me just put that out there. Many of us have lost faith and said, well, I guess there's just evil people in the world, and I guess that they just do what they want to do, and they never get their, their karma. And I'm trying to think of a good metaphor for how that's not the case. But it's kind of like saying like a good-looking bluefin tuna will never get eaten by a shark, right? Like, even if that bluefin tuna, I don't know if it's a good metaphor, even if that bluefin tuna is like king or queen of the ocean for a little bit, there's always something bigger that can come along and take a chunk out of it if it gets too cocky, right? So that's the way the universe recorrects itself. And the message really here is you don't got to worry about that. Don't worry about trying to make sure someone gets what they deserve, or, trying to observe and see if their life is better or worse without you. Like, none of that stuff. Okay. Just focus on you embodying that change that you wish to see in the people around you as well as within yourself. And I promise your karma will grow in a good way. Your finances will grow. Your leadership will grow. And everything about your life will expand in a positive way when you put that focus back here and what you're going through and where you're going. Okay? There it is. The Lovers. Lovers with the Five of Wands. So per this end of Mercury retrograde, and I'm just going to speak it quite frankly, reading the mama says, I like the analogy. Okay, good. You're the only one, I think. Per this Mercury retrograde, right? And one of my earlier YouTube videos, I said it was about untangling the soul from the ex, okay? So this is about an internal worry or conflict with someone from your past, potentially, that never really was meant for you, or never really was meant for your future, or meant to be the person that you deeply, truly created a lifelong bond with and a life with. And it's this internal conflict in thinking, what if, or could they have been really the one, right? Or, right, are they learning their lessons? Are they going to change or shift in some way? Are they going to kind of grow into the person that I might have always seen them to become? Okay. Up until this point, there's been this deep down internal conflict, or maybe realizations about this, about someone from your past, about people from your past, right? Romantic. Even close, borderline, maybe to some like obsession, right? And the obsession really isn't about this person, by the way. I just want to make that clear for anyone wondering, anyone resonating here. David Lewis says, my love, it is the right here with me right now. That's awesome. Okay. The obsession about someone else or something else changing to fit more into your needs or your desired way of being has nothing to do with them at all. It has everything to do with your desire and need for internal transformation and change, and a release of expectations over what you are and what you're supposed to be or what you want to be. See, when you release those internal expectations to yourself, okay, when you take a second, you say, I release any expectation I have about who I am or who I need to be or where I'm going or whether I should fill these shoes, all the expectations you have about other people release as well. Okay? And it's gotten to the point for some of us, and it's been a very strong collective lesson, where maybe we were with people in the past that didn't have a very strong identity of their own. And so because we had such a strong identity or such a strong energy, we filled that void, right? We filled that gap and projected what we wanted them to be or where we wanted them to go, okay? More so than they really even chose or wanted for themselves, okay? How many guys can relate to that, where you have felt maybe that and you knew what was better for someone or what they should be, or you thought, well, they are what I think they are, right? And so I'll just help them get there. And Paula told me something really powerful this morning, and I'll share that with you guys, is always, Paula's my girlfriend, by the way, always trust what someone is showing you in that moment for what it really is. Okay, trust the words, trust the actions, trust the way of being. Always trust exactly what people will show you for what and who it really is without any projections of what we wish or want it to be, the reality of someone or the reality of something. Okay? And leave it at that. And I don't care, that applies for any situation, any relationship. Okay, no matter how much you love someone, no matter how attached you might be to someone, always remember, number one, what you would want in a lifelong partnership if you were to be in a relationship. And number two, whether or not the person you're with fills those needs that you have of being with someone in that way. And if there are things that they're not, that they don't fill, naturally, just by their own way of being, they're not the person. There's no way to change or to shift or to kind of manipulate that depth of personality change to meet who you want them to be. They either are or they're not. Okay? So I think that's the huge collective lesson, right? 4 of Cups here is saying, you know what? I'm okay with not being with that person. I'm okay with saying goodbye, and I'm okay with releasing any expectations that I might have had upon that person to change or be something else other than who and what they are. Because you know what I'm more concerned about is my own well-being and my own happiness and the relationship that I'm in now or want to be in the future and how that is. Because I know that maybe the past doesn't have a chance of fulfilling me, but the present I know does. I know I can make my own self and my own experience into something that is truly fulfilling, and truly a lifelong, beautiful, amazing commitment and experience. Yeah. So for many of us, it's the end of a major cycle and a realization in saying enough is enough. Yes, it's painful. Yes, I have these attachments. Yes, I have these feelings connected with someone from my past or people from my past or experiences from my past. But I'm no longer going to allow that and those expectations of what it could have been or what it should have been to change me now, or to shift who I am now, or to shift my experience of my current reality and or relationship now. Because I choose to live in the present moment, and I choose to make here what's in front of me the best it can possibly be now. And that's all that matters. And I promise you guys, right, if you take this in and you allow it to come in, this will change your life. These words right here from the guides, this will change your life. Is if you look at every possible thing in your life in this moment as the most important thing you could possibly have to focus on, to work on, to be in, to experience, and to be present with. And there's nothing else besides that. There's nothing else in the future. There's nothing else in the past. It's just this, what's in front of you now. Whether that's a job, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a marriage, whether that's a family, whatever that is, whether that's a doggy who came into my live streaming office to play because he loves to do that while I'm live streaming, specifically. Okay. And if you can allow yourself, we can allow ourselves to focus on just that. And as if that were the perfect possible thing for each of us in this moment, there was nothing else that mattered besides those things. That is the key to a very, very, very happy life. That is the key to releasing any and all expectations of things that didn't work out or couldn't work out or just were not meant to work out, so that you can experience what did work out and what is meant to be. That might be outside of what you initially wanted or felt was right, but maybe there was something higher. Maybe there was a divine energy that said, no, this is your path. Let me take you away from that thing that really wasn't for you. Let me put you here because this is where I really want you. This is where you were really meant to be. And let me see you struggle so you can become a better human being and learn these lessons and lead other people eventually in that direction through hardship specifically. Yeah, through hardship and through hard lessons. Okay. All right, let's finish up this tarot reading here. We have the Eight of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and the Page of Swords here. So we're all wondering, okay, in this moment, if if we were all to take that literally, to take that statement literally, as in, all I have is what is here in front of me. There is nothing else outside of me in the past or in the future besides this right now. Even if I wanted it, even if I felt it was right, even if I felt it was destined, okay? Even if I felt this or that. If we were to take it literally and say, this is all I have in front of me now, this job, this relationship, this family, this career, this business. Now we are wondering how far you can go with that mind process, that thought process, and what it is specifically that you would want to focus on. Okay? Let me repeat that in a different way. If you were to eliminate, if you were to release any other reality besides the one that is right here in front of you, what would you focus your energy and your time on? What would you be proud of moving forward in? What would you be proud and excited to create? We're all wondering right now on this live stream, and if you feel called to, you can share it in the chat if you want. What is it? We all want to know, a page of swords with a page of wands. What is it that you are now able to focus on that you weren't able to focus on before because there were too many other thoughts about things that weren't really real? There were too many other thoughts about, right, things that would never become reality. If you can let those go, what would that be? Okay, where is your energy most needed? Where's your time most needed, right? Where's your focus most needed? What would life be like if you could remove the distraction of having to think of those things which aren't really real in front of you right now? What would that clear up for you? How much space would that create in your life to be able to pursue different things? If you could let that go, and I'm talking anything. I'm not just talking about a past relationship, but that might be the case for some of us. I'm talking about anything that happened in our past lives and in our lives now. Okay, the past life part was channeled. That might have hurt us or caused trauma in our life. Maybe there was an accident we were involved in. Maybe there was something our dad or our mom said to us that really never sat right. Maybe there was something that happened at school when we were growing up, okay? That we still spend time to this day wishing it could be different or wishing it was something other than what it was. Well, it is what it is. If we take that mentality, I know, Capricorn moon here, it is what it is, yeah? It happened, it's done. Now here's the reality. Now where do you go from here? What frees up? What opens up? What energy? Where does your energy want to flow naturally, right? You have all these things in your head that are not real, that you wish would be different or change or grow or whatever it is. Your energy, you have a limited amount every single day in this human, beautiful body. That energy goes like this. It comes up. It's like, okay, Brandon, where do you want to spend this energy today? Right? But if we have so many of these other things, it goes... It goes up and it goes poof, it just poofs into thin air. Because it goes all to these different places, right? Next thing you know, you spent 4 or 5 hours reflecting on something from the past or something about the past instead of being right here, right now, and moving forward. So, what would your life look like? What would you be building? What can you start to build today and tomorrow? End of Mercury retrograde. Don't let anyone tell you this is a fantastic launch point for something new. Take a day off. Take today off if you can. I know I'm not even taking my own advice. Take today off if you can and launch something. Launch something new. Don't stay in the old. Don't keep doing the same thing that's leading you to this place of, right, having to overly reflect and calculate. Launch something new. What is that going to be? There's so many things we could launch right now. Launch something new. The reason for this is anytime we release things in our head, in our brain, in our mind, in our soul that aren't real, that are just filling a void, filling a space, and drawing our energy away from where we should be focused, okay? There's always got to be something to replace it. That's why I'm bringing this in, right? It's like exactly how I heal people in my sessions is like we get rid of the bad stuff, we get rid of the distractions, we get rid of the karma, but then what do you replace that with? Why did that stuff exist in the first place, right? Well, you replace it with unconditional love. Well, in this case, you replace it with something that's going to draw your attention, draw your focus, draw your passion out. Okay? What would you be proud of creating that can create something long-term and fulfilling for you while providing impact for as many people as possible, while providing just enough for you to benefit as well in equality from that new relationship, okay? That new relationship with a person, that new relationship with a job, that new relationship with your business, that new relationship with anything in your life that you're ready to have a new beginning in. Abby Jaros, welcome to the chat. It's good to have you here. I actually woke up challenged myself to pivot the anxious thoughts for a week and see what happens. Yes! Boom! Abby is on it. Good job. That's amazing. Milo says amazing. Oh, shoot. I knew I'd be rich that I knew that I'd be rich. LOL. Sparkling Susie that I achieved my goals because I am worthy by letting go of the emotional baggage from the past. Good. That's exactly what we're talking about, guys. That's exactly what we're talking about. So now's the time, all right? Now's the time. Take Abby's words as a confirmation that now's the time to allow yourself to release those worries, those anxious thoughts, those thoughts of non-reality, but then also to replace it with something. What are you going to replace it with that's going to fulfill that gap and that void, right? All right, here's the answer right here. There's three cards of advice. All right, Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands, and 10 of Swords. So beautiful job. So after every ending, right? Okay. After every ending is a new beginning. But really what I see here is, something's got to die, I would say, right? Like there's some aspect or some part of you that's really ready to die off in this moment, okay? That has put a lot of work into this way of being, has put a lot of truth into this way of being, a lot of yourself into this way of being, okay? And it's got to die because there is something really new and really much more engaging that's going to take its place moving forward from here. That deserves your time and attention more than whatever this thing is. Okay? That's calling, that's speaking to your soul. Ooh, I just felt that one in my soul, right? Ooh. More so than anything else. Okay? And it's so interesting, right? Because I had this, I'll just be frank with you guys. I wasn't going to go live today. It's just been a long weekend. I've been working all weekend. I'm exhausted. I don't know if you guys can tell. I've got my first group meeting tonight at 5 p.m., right, which I got to get ready for soon. And I wasn't going to go live, and then something just hit me and said, you made it, man. Like, this channel, where this channel was 2.5 years ago, where you were starting these live streams, many of you guys probably were there. Maybe many guys were new, but many guys were there during those first live streams. Remember, all about the twin flame journey and all about the journey of true love and that whole evolution. And I just realized, like, today is the ending of that whole chapter, right? Where we were all kind of focused in on, like, when this person's going to come around or what's going on with their energy or, like, what is this twin flame journey, right? We're all kind of figuring it out together. And I just realized, right, that like this business, what you guys are seeing for me personally, and again, I have no guarantees of what's going to happen. It's just something I feel, but it's been dying out for a while, And I know that there's several other places my time and energy needs to be, which is why I've decided to say this is kind of it. This is kind of the finale, right? Like, I don't know where exactly it's going to be, but there's some big lesson chapter phase here that's ending. And And I just felt, and it's just so funny because that's why we're doing a tarot reading, right? Is like that. We're just like, this is kind of the end of that whole chapter of where we all once were, so kind of obsessively addicted to this story or this lesson or this love journey, right? To the point where we can come back here and reflect and say, well, wow, how far have we made it now? This is amazing. What have we learned? But also release those expectations from the past and from our past ways of being. So, yeah, I never really thought it would end like this, but I think there's an ending to every way of being in every potential business, and I think that time has come. Last 3 cards of the spread: 2 of Pentacles, possibly ever. 2 of Pentacles, King of Swords, no, not ever. 2 of Pentacles, King of Swords, and the 4 of Pentacles. For many of us, and myself included, okay, these cards are saying, it's used money specifically or resources as a lesson. Meaning if money is running low or money is a stress point, it means you're not focused enough, okay? Quite simply. When I say focused, I don't mean that you're being lazy at all. I know that, each of us are very hard workers here. But what I mean is that there hasn't been enough reality checked attention coming back down into the body to say, this needs to change. This needs to go, right? That's a very different energy to say, I've reached my breaking point. This needs to change. I'm going this direction, or I'm going to make a shift in how or in what ways I'm able to receive money or income, right? But really, that's just a very small part of it, right? The divine may have used money as a way to get our attention, to say, hey, there's a shift needs to happen here, okay? I've been going through it myself personally. But it's reflective of the transition needed at this time for each of us into the next part of our journey. So really, when I say there's a culmination, okay, it's not a culmination of me being me. It's the culmination of this old journey that we've all been on in this way of being, connected to this love story, okay? Those of you guys who remember. And it's representative of going towards that next step in our North Node journey. In astrology, there's something called the North Node, which is our true destiny, right? Who we're really meant to be. And up until this point, it's really been a mastery of that South Node energy, which has been great, but we're no longer in that energy. South Node is about our past life. It's about like who we are on a soul level and our natural strengths and abilities. And that's carried us forth to a great degree. But the next step of our evolution is now you're going to be stepping into something you might be a little uncomfortable with. Now you're going to be stepping into something that's going to provide a lot more back for you, but it's going to be a little bit more work, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and it's going to be a bit of a new journey, a new learning opportunity. Okay. So now is the time for that shift and that to happen, that death as well to happen, to embrace the death. Okay, as we head into Libra and then Scorpio season, right? Let this month be a necessary transition, a necessary death into your true purpose, right? And you'll know what that is. You'll keep getting signs. I'm already getting them from my own business, right? God and the divine want me to learn affiliate marketing, for those of you guys wondering. Learning about creating organic content and creating money through that, and really establishing an online business, right, through the mental faculties. Very Capricornian third house energy, my North Node is at. And so I got to go, right? I got to go. And same thing with you guys, right? There may be a place you got to go. You got to go. You're coming from somewhere, but then now you got to go. You got to take that step. So let us all welcome whatever that direction is. With that, let's close out this tarot reading. Nameless 007 says, wait, is Brandon leaving YouTube? No, not necessarily. I don't know what it's going to be from now on, but I what I sense is that, and I'll just be honest with you guys, at one point, doing astrology readings and tarot readings and using my spiritual gifts for income worked great. It was a very good fit for my life. It worked well for you, it worked well for me. And I've just realized that with where I'm at and what I have in my life, my family and my dog and girlfriend, it's like for some reason the energy behind that industry is no longer sustaining me or paying our bills. I mean, we are scraping by in that degree. So I've already decided I have to pursue a different industry. Doesn't mean that I failed. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that God and the divine want me to be in a different industry. And funny enough, right? Those of you guys who know Paula, she's starting to go more into reading, channeling, coaching, and all the things I was doing. So she's maybe possibly going to take that place, and I'll probably be going into a different direction. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I'm just telling you guys the feelings and the energies here. So if you guys are seeing it within me, maybe that can help to spark something also within you about what needs to change or shift into a different direction. Okay. That being said, services are still available for now. I'm sure they always will be until I get too busy in whatever other industry I go into. But again, I had to lower the prices quite a bit because I was like, it's time. And if anyone ever needs something, I want to make sure that they have access to that without breaking an arm and a leg to do that. But my primary income will be from somewhere else. So that's going to allow me to do that. Good transition, good necessary growth and transition. Yeah. I think it's a good thing overall because it's funny. Thank you guys for giving me the chance to reflect. But, I just realized if there's an industry that depends on your livelihood to pay your bills, right? It kind of becomes more of like a job versus like something you love. And that's kind of what astrology, spirituality, and tarot has become for me. It's become more of a job than actually something I just love doing because it helps people, right? And, that's just been the reality because I've had to pay my bills with it and life is not cheap. But now if I build something else that I can focus my time and energy in, whether that's affiliate marketing, whether that's streaming, gaming, or some other industry, right, that can take over paying the bills, I can still do the spiritual stuff I love to do, but not have so much pressure on it. And I think in this community, right, that might be something you guys might have felt is like, Brandon's great, but maybe sometimes he has to sell stuff sometimes. It's like, yeah, I do, because if not, we're not paying our bills. But I don't think spirituality is supposed to be like that. It's been a hard lesson I've had to learn, that we've had to learn, me and Paula. But anyways, enough about me. That's where I'm going in my life. I'll still be around. I'll still be doing, hopefully, the weekly live streams. Can't make any promises there, but I'll definitely still be around on social media. Okay, so let's start to close out here. Thank you, Kathy. I really appreciate that. It's almost 4 o'clock, so I got about an hour till my group leadership meeting with Kathy McDowell. So sorry for saying your last name, Kathy. And let's go into some astrology and just kind of look where we're at. This won't be a super long segment because I think I've done a lot of other astrology stuff before this in my other videos. So if you guys are looking for like astrology analysis and stuff, just check out my last videos. But we're going to go into a little bit of it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so today's October 2nd. Now, as I mentioned, let me get the exact date and time. Thank you, Betsy. Appreciate it. And thank you, Abby. Thank you, Kathy. All right. So Mercury's out of retrograde as we speak in this moment. All right. When did it go out of retrograde? Let me see. It might have been earlier in the day. Let me see. All right. Yeah. Okay, so it was today around 2-something a.m. ish. Okay, I just want to get the exact time. So Mercury's been out of retrograde. Now, what does that mean for all of us, and what does that mean for us moving forward at this moment in time? Okay, let me go back to our current time right now, 3:57 PST. It means that anything else, okay, anything else in this moment that is requiring action. I mean, notice this reading has been mostly about action, right? It's been a lot about, yes, introspection, but then a big part of it's been like, okay, taking the action and moving forward, striving to move forward somewhere, right? Making that decision and using money as a guide, okay? So that's the practical tip, is wherever money has been scarce, or money's been maybe taken away a bit, or money's been running dry, okay? That might be a sign that your current way of being or current industry, okay, is not, or even uncertainty about money, right? We could bring it to uncertainty about money, is needing a shift or needing a transition to a new direction, okay? More so than that, coming from this, now that the fog is clearing, there's going to be a whole new way of being because of a whole new piece of clarity that you're receiving in this moment following Mercury retrograde. So coming back out of it, what I see is like, we're going to be like, all right, whoa, now we're seeing the world so much differently. The perspective we have on everything is so different. Okay, there's going to be new opportunities from our perspective, okay, that we're seeing the world in. And it's almost like we're going to be wondering why we even were who we were in the past, or went through certain things in the past. We're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe we even used to do that, or we're in that way of being. Okay. So it's going to be a bit of sun and brightness. It's going to be a bit of clarity. It's going to be a lot of opportunities to take and move forward, but really take the change that's been offered to us by releasing anything that was stuck within us from the past that might have come up through this Mercury retrograde. If we can allow ourselves to trust that the energy will balance itself back out, and that people, institutions, and other things who have wronged us or wronged people generally will get what they deserve. If we can accept that and we can accept our own good karma and let go of the need to like shake other people so that they can get good karma or get on the path to get good karma, there will be really, really amazing strides forward. But that's the hardest part, right? As I say that, okay, it's like, if you can let that piece go, right? If you can allow yourself to know and trust that things will balance out on their own. We don't have to interfere. We don't have to do anything. We just have to trust and know that things are going to go back into their proper way of being through, and will be seen through our new perspective. That's when things will really start to make progress and move forward in a really aligned way. So, I'm going to start to answer some questions here as we close out. So we've been going for about an hour 23, so short, but hopefully precise. I do have like 3 other astrology videos that go over the astrology here. So again, if you guys want more astrology, go check it out. But let me read some final comments here before we close out for today. It's been an awesome live stream. Thanks for being here and joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know no 3.5 hour live streams like we did in the past. I don't have my raw milk with me. Misty Powers, glad to hear you'll still be around. All the best to you in your future endeavors. God bless. Thank you, Misty. Sassily, when you put what you need in the hands of God, He comes through. Lady Lex, I've been a part of this group for a while, and I felt that shift with you, Brandon. I think you can do both if you do so choose. Let Source guide you. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Lex. I really appreciate that. I know you guys have felt the shift. That's why I'm addressing it. I'm like, you guys probably can see it in me, right? It just is what it is. We won't be able to enjoy this evening, but hopefully next week we can. Awesome, David. We look forward to having you both here. Christina, everything happens for a reason. Will work himself out. Awesome. All be well, Brandon. Thank you. Going to miss you in your readings. Yeah. So, yeah. And look, I'll still be around, guys. Like, I'm still probably going to do maybe just, I don't know, channel tarot readings or just things I enjoy doing, but it won't have to be so focused on money, right? I won't have to be so focused on like selling because my livelihood depends on this business. And, you know, I think that was something that justice needed to like inevitably balance out and say, well, Maybe this is something you can do just as a place of service, but because your livelihood's depending on it, you weren't able to do that fully. You know what I mean? You wanted to, but you weren't able to do that 100% fully. You know? Betsy clears, I've been self-employed forever. I know shifting is sometimes needed to pay the bills. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, who knows where that shift's going to come from, but we'll see. Do you know how to read your number for your true purpose? I know your life path number, your numerology. I think you add up the digits of your birthday, 1992. I like that hat. 1992, 26, and 3. So my life path is 5, I believe. That's awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to close that out for today. I'm going to go rest up for our first group coaching meeting. Those of you guys who are involved, be there 5 p.m. sharp. I'm super excited and pumped up. If you guys haven't heard about the group coaching program I have, again, it's only $33 a month. Link is in the bio, and you get live weekly group coaching sessions where really it's just using a group environment to become the most empowered leadership version of yourself, to find your purpose and clarity, and to learn how to heal and tap into your spiritual superpowers. First meeting starting tonight at 5 p.m. So click that link in the bio if you want to check that out. Obviously, I mentioned services were updated, so if you guys are looking for readings of any of that sort, prices have been discounted back into a place of reality. And then those of you guys who got the one-time special, the end of September flash sale, thank you guys. I've received all your emails, and I will be working through those readings this week. So thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys are awesome always. I appreciate you guys giving me a chance to be honest with you guys and to share what I'm going through as well. And without further ado, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.